Hey, lovely. So today I want to talk about getting more cooperation in your home. So those situations when your kids just won't listen. And the thing is, I know if you are a spiritual mom like me, you've invested years of your own um, self-development, so-called, to healing those patterns when other people wanted you to just listen to them, and now you don't want your children to go through that cycle again. So the way we were parented requested like 100% of obedience and compliance with what we were told. And right now, when we know that this pattern doesn't really work, and it doesn't help us, sensitive, empathic, spiritual people, grow into our full potential. We don't want that for our own kids. Yet we weren't presented with like other ways how we can parent so that we don't burn out because the kids just run wild. And on the other hand, the kids don't get what we got from our childhood, which is years of unlearning and healing. That like which is just huge amount of work to be done. And while you heal, you also shed those layers, and you won't be passing that on your kids. So that's good news. But on the other hand, there are situations, I know there are, because this is what I've been through, this is what my clients are telling me, that you want to parent from the heart. You want to connect first, but then when something happens, you just snap and you get directly into the pattern that you learned from your childhood, which is not the pattern that you want to go into. That's why it's so important to focus on pausing and helping get regulated first. Reconnect with your core. This is what I shared in my previous video, but I will repeat it here as well. I didn't mean to, but this is how it goes. I go intuitively, and whatever goes through me goes through me. So the way to get your kids to bring in more cooperation into your interactions is to build that connection first. Have you noticed, that when you need to do something your child doesn't like a dentist visit, if you connect deeply with your child the day before, they will be more cooperative during that dentist appointment. So if you include that connection in every day as a routine, even like 15 minutes of connection, it must be purely for the child. It's not just doing something next to each other. It must be being with them, mindfully being with them, allowing them to take the lead just for the 15 minutes of the day. It won't spoil them. It won't make them want you don't know what. This is the one time during the day when they get to have control over you, who usually have control over their life. Like, you choose food, you choose where to go, that they are going to school or they're not going to school. That's your decision, and they know that. You can give them some other decisions, like, for example, you decide when they get dressed. They can decide which of the two outfits they pick for the day. But the bulk of the decision making is still on you. So they might be feeling that powerlessness at times. That's why it's important to give them the choice to make decisions. Now, connection and allowing them to get choice. These are the two things here. And the next thing is when there are those moments that they misbehave, quote, quote, it's not that they are doing that to you. they are simply expressing something through that behavior. It might be an unmet need, it might be emotional load, it might be just the best they are doing with the skills they have at that moment. Sometimes we just have unrealistic expectations of what a kid at a certain age should be able to do. Sometimes we just expect too much of them. So these are, but when something something happens and you jump into that reactive mode, what's the most important part? To get connected with that spiritual side of you, that higher self, your intuition, your parenting superpowers. And in order to get in touch with that, you need to regulate your nervous system first. So follow the steps of emotional regulation. Pause, stop, realize what you're feeling, what your emotional state is. Letter S is for state. It's an acronym, S.T.E.P.S, steps. Number 2, T is for trigger. So what triggered that emotional state? I'm feeling angry. Why? Because of my thoughts, not because of what's happened. It's not about the situation itself, it's about your interpretation of the situation. So when my kids leave their shoes in the hall, I might think they're disrespectful and I'll get angry. I might think they're just busy and happy in their childhood and they just don't care about things like shoes in the hall, and I will feel I'm doing a good mom, providing a safe space for my children to express themselves. Or I might think that I have so much to do and now I still have to pick up those shoes, and I will feel overwhelmed. So our emotions are based on our thoughts. So this is the trigger. Letter E is for empathizing. So you empathize with yourself first so that you allow yourself to feel that emotion. I am angry because I thought my children were disrespectful for leaving the shoes in the hall. Are they really disrespectful? Maybe not. Let that anger leave my body through allowing myself to feel it for a minute, for a moment. It might be even very brief. When you get used to using that framework, it will get really fast. Then letter P is for perking up. So you do the opposite. When you are angry, you need to do something physical like dance or jump or punch a pillow or something like that, to release that energy. If you feel sad, do something that cheers you up. If you feel overwhelmed, do something to clear your mind, like journal out what's on your mind, things like that. And the last thing is solutions. So you don't jump into solutions unless you're fully regulated and your nervous system is in that calm, grounded state. When you are fully regulated, you're calm, connected to your intuitive parenting superpowers, connected to your higher self, you won't have any problem responding to the situation from the place of love. So if your child, for example, doesn't want to finish screen time, when, well, you agreed together that this is how long they're going to stay on the screen, and then you need to finish because you need to leave, I don't know, do the shopping. And they won't. You'll get angry. So first you regulate yourself, follow the steps. Why I'm angry? I'm angry because my child won't listen to me and won't turn off their phone or tablet. And is that really the reason? No, the reason is my interpretation that we agreed to that and they didn't stick to the agreement, and that's what made me angry. My thought, my interpretation, that I'm feeling that I'm failing as a mom because my child doesn't respect their agreements they have with me. So these are all thoughts, the stories we tell ourselves. Of course, you are fully allowed to feel angry if someone doesn't respect an agreement you had with them, but a child with a developing, growing brain might not be able to keep to that agreement, to stick to that agreement. So this is where you step in as a parent, as a coach for your child, and help them to stick to what they agreed to for themselves. So my son, for example, he sets his screen time limits himself because he noticed that if he's too long on screens, then he doesn't feel very well, and sometimes he even has headaches. So he asks me to set a timer for him and help him stick to the timer. And this is something he came up with on his own. So children are really smart, and definitely they're very wise when it comes to different areas of our lives, in especially areas that we don't expect them to be such little wise creatures. So when you regulate yourself, then you go to your child, and you aren't that angry, yelling, screaming mom anymore, because your nervous system is regulated and you can respond with love. Honey, we agreed to finishing screen time at this point because we agreed that we are going to do the shopping now, so we need to leave, and this is the time we leave. And that way it will be much easier for both of you to stick to any agreements that you had between each other. If that still doesn't help, it requires some deeper thought, but not in the moment when they are frustrated, or they might even, some kids sometimes might even melt down when you ask them to do that. So when they are in that frustrated, angry state, don't jump into the next solution. Just help them stick to the boundary that they agreed themselves. Like with screen time, just, okay, if you cannot turn it off by yourself, I will have to turn it off for you because we agreed and you wanted me to help you finish at this point. So you are not imposing anything on them, you're helping them follow through with what they agreed to. Because their logical part of the brain is not yet developed enough for them to stick to those agreements by themselves. So you're just helping them, and their growing brain will pick it up on the way as you repeat that time and time again. So if it still creates a problem and they are still frustrated, angry, and reactive after you help them follow through with an agreement, then you need to wait for the right moment to address the issue. Don't leave it just like that, but don't jump into solutions, into creating solutions when they are angry or frustrated. Wait for a moment. That connection time that I mentioned at the beginning of the video, that's the best moment to actually talk about that. When they are relaxed, they are having their mommy and me time, they are playful, they are creative. That's when you can mention something like, I noticed that you have I noticed that last time when I asked you to finish playing on your phone, you didn't feel it was okay, and you reacted. Just describe what happened, and just ask them what's up, and leave that at this point and wait for them to open up. Just continue playing with them and wait. They might open up just after you mention that situation. And listen. Don't try to teach them. Don't try to talk the good rules into them. Just listen for the reasons why they might be feeling that way. Because if you want them to listen to you, you need to listen to them first. So I hope that helps. Leave a comment under this video which of the tips that I shared here feels the best for you right now at this stage of your parenting journey. And if you feel you need some more personal support, I've opened 3 spots for pocket coaching this month. Pocket coaching is my personal one-on-one support for you, tailored for a busy mom's life who doesn't have time to schedule calls. So because there are no calls, it's a little bit more affordable than standard coaching, yet it's just as powerful for the time that we are spending together. So let me know if you're curious about that and you want to know the details. Comment whisper below. And of course, let me know which of the tips feels best for you right now. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time.